how Kang would have happened in MCU. Now, Jerry is one of the most pro Kang people I know, and I'm pro Kang too. Even though I'm so happy about Doctor Doom, I did want them to finish the Kang story. And we both are Jonathan Majors fans here. We love this performance at King as King, and I'm pretty sure that whoever's watching this, you guys even enjoy his performance as King. Because when it comes to Ant-Man, no one said that his performance sucks. Everybody's just mad that he lost to freaking ants. Okay, so I'm gonna read you guys this.
They weren't any regular ants, by the way. I said this to Matt the other day too. They were giant-sized, super-powered ants. Okay, they're not like the kind of ants you step on with your foot. Okay, let's get it straight.
And this wasn't Prime King. So, anyways, like this wasn't the King that won the multiversal war. Like it's just
I don't know about that. Based on what? Actually, no. I think you're right. It's so confusing.
Yeah, because Prime King is already dead. We're not going to go down this road, but
yeah.
Because, dude, so I've been trying to find myself to explain, like, whenever people ask me how do we get here with Deadpool and Wolverine, I found myself having to explain Loki season 1 and season 2. I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right, let's get into this story. Okay, the resurrection of Kang the Conqueror, his return out of the Beyond Zone, explained by the scrapped Avengers Kang Dynasty by Michael Waldron and Jeff Loveness. The second coming of Kang. After Kang the Conqueror's fight with Ant-Man, Kang was hurled and shrunk into a multiversal engine core. Kang went subatomic into several thousand dimensions. Kang ends up exiting out of the multiverse. He enters a void that is known as the Beyond Zone. Kang finds himself trapped in the Beyond Zone. The Beyond Zone is a strange reality surrounded by an extremely strong probability storm. By the way, this is my movie voice, okay? So I'm going to talk with some gravitas here.
I like it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we gotta keep it interesting. The energy from the probability storm gives him the ability to create multiple versions of himself, aka clones, similar to what Ant-Man experienced. Kang's clones begin to multiply rapidly. The clones try to take superiority over one another, and Kang is left fighting them and trying to regain control of his clones along with his mind. Kang engages in a deep battle with his clones. The war he is having with his clones is also metaphorical as it represents Kang's fight over his mind / inner deep. Dang, this is deep, bro. / inner, It is revealed he lives in regret of not being able to save his pregnant wife and his civilization. All this leads to Kang's mind descending into straight effing chaos. Kang understands if he is to get out of here, he must conquer his mind before he conquers reality. And by doing this, he must come to terms and stop living in regret over not being able to save his pregnant wife. Quick backstory. Kang waged a war on the Council of Kangs after he discovered they would one day be responsible for destroying the multiverse due to them causing incursions. Kang's solution was conquering and erasing the other Kangs and their entire universe. Kang destroys countless universes and timelines. This is 1 billion times worse than what Thanos did. It is an unimaginable number of lives that have been killed. Kang's hands are filled with blood of trillions and trillions across the multiverse. Kang was eventually defeated and captured by the Council of Kangs. As punishment, the Council of Kangs killed his pregnant wife and burned his kingdom to the ground. He was exiled to the quantum realm. Kang accepts the reality of his situation, but he understands that there is no other choice, that he committed these unspeakable atrocities to preserve reality. It is the only way. Even if he has to experience the pain of losing his wife and unborn child 1 million times, he must destroy the dynasty of Kangs and save the multiverse. Kang regains control of his mind and his clones stop fighting. They begin to bow before Kang. Kang has learned the strength to conquer his mind. The clones chant his name, Kang, Kang, Kang. They finally give Kang the weapon he's always coveted, whatever. An infinite army of Kang clones that are exactly as vengeful as he is and have his exact mission objectives, unlike all the different types of Kang variants the Council of Kangs has. Now, guys, we are 2 more and we're wrapping up here. This now gives Kang the Conqueror the chance to win against the Council of Kangs who have defeated him. He will now return to the multiverse more powerful than anyone could ever imagine. I will burn them out of time. Kang and his army of clones ascend out of the Beyond Zone and rapidly through many dimensions of space and time. As this happens, he begins to absorb strong quantum waves, which gives him the powers of the Beyond Zone. Kang and his legions of clones are now headed to Earth 616 to destroy the Council of Kings, who have conquered and destroyed most of the Earth and the Avengers. This was supposed to be Kang's big arc, and it was one of the important subplots in the movie, similar to Thanos' journey to acquire the stones. Kang being hurled into the multiversal engine code was just the beginning for his plans of conquest in the MCU. What's interesting about Major's performance as Kang the Conqueror is very similar to Shakespeare's Othello, a tragic figure who felt betrayed and waited years and years to exact his revenge on those who betrayed him. Kang's story in the MCU is now over, but it would have been really cool to see him rising up out of the Beyond Zone. A bad A moment that we no longer will get. Blah, 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 blah.
I love it, man. And, like, I love the Shakespeare vibes to it. When I was in high school, we read Macbeth, and I never paid attention to anything in school, but I thought Macbeth, that story, was fire. And Othello was always kind of similar. People said, at least, and like just Kang going to those lengths and kind of striking back after all that time and with his own army of clone Kangs in a Kang Dynasty story. I kind of think we got robbed because we were going to get Doctor Doom anyway, and if we were going to get Doctor Doom, it's likely they may or may not have casted Robert Downey Jr., but there are a lot of people out there that went nuts, and they were like, abandon Kang, abandon Kang, abandon Kang. Well, they did, and now you're not happy because Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, and some are like, oh, it's creatively bankrupt. Well, stop demanding things of Marvel if you don't know what you're talking about. That's like half the problem, and I think I think if Jonathan Majors got to act that storyline out, his career, like, he would have risen to the stratosphere of A-list actors. He would have been one of those actors that Oscar-type directors sought after for their movies, because this kind of storyline with that actor would have been an absolute haymaker of a banger, and you just can't tell me otherwise. It just sounds like such a cool story, and it does sound real, like, especially because he was banished to Quantumania, and then he gets to the Beyond Zone through the probability storm, and him pruning all the other timelines of Kangs, and for him to build up his own army of clones. I don't know. It just sounds like a super cool story to me. I would have loved to have seen this in a movie or play out through a full Avengers cycle. And listen, I'm still hyped about Doctor Doom, but kind of like I said before, you can't have infamous Iron Man without having Doctor Doom first. And I'm not saying you can't have Doctor Doom without Kang. That's not exactly the same thing, but we could have had Kang and then had Doctor Doom, And the interesting thing about Kang and Doctor Doom is they're both very similar. They are both very involved with tinkering with their own technologies. They're both geniuses. They're both rulers that have ruled over, Kang has ruled, various timelines and alternate realities. Doom is the monarch of Latveria. They're both very ambitious. They both have their own sense of honor and code. They are both major adversaries of the Fantastic Four. They both have multiple identities with, Doom, infamous Iron Man, Ramatut, Scarlet Centurion, Immortus. So, I obviously Doom is the more superior villain, and that's why Doctor Doom usually takes out Kang in a lot of storylines. And that was my big prediction, was that Doctor Doom was going to kill Kang and Doctor Doom was going to take over the MCU. I still think they should do that. Like, I still think that that's the way you kind of explain the Kang thing. A lot of people are like, oh, well, they don't have to explain it. Well, they could have a 2-second scene where Doctor Doom just kills Kang and takes over. I think that
footage just like standing over his cape so you don't show his face.
Something like that, and literally
they might, bro. They might. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's the play here.
Yeah, I think that they had probably a top 2 MCU film on their hands. That's probably the deepest character study I've ever read. In my opinion, when it comes to the MCU, that is one of the best like thought out ideas I've ever read when it comes to King Conqueror. And as much as I despise Jeff Loveness, he wrote Kang the Conqueror very well. And
I agree with that.
And a lot of people did say, King was the only character he knew. You know what I mean? And you can tell that that guy knew Kang the Conqueror. And to make it a Shakespearean type of story, I think would have been deep and beautiful. And it makes me feel like some of this story will be adapted for Doctor Doom as well in Doomsday. And I'm not talking about the probability storm and all of that stuff. Not all that stuff, but I'm talking about more in the idea of because with that they're going to focus a lot on Doctor Doom's character analysis, his character origin, his character, we are really going to look into the mind of Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. It isn't just going to be Doom comes to the MCU and fights everybody. No, we are going to get a character study on the character. The same way we got a character study on Thanos. I think we might even get a deeper one with Avengers Doomsday. And I think, bro, after reading that, because to be honest, if that's the blueprint, I don't see them going that far as in mindset. I think that when a lot of fans walk away from this movie, they're going to forget that RDJ is Iron Man. And that's how deep I think that's how deep they have to go, Jerry, with Doctor Doom. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think it's going to be that deep of a character study.
There's 2 things. Number one, if there is any character in the MCU to do a deep, or in the Marvel universe as a whole, to do a deep character analysis on, it's Doctor Doom, number one. And number 2, if there is anyone to pull inspiration from out of the comics world, it is Shakespeare. Listen, I'm not a big Shakespeare guy, but just experiencing the Macbeth story, if there is a guy, there's a reason that we're so far in history from Shakespeare, and everyone still talks about the guy. Shakespeare was mother cooking.
Yeah, bro. And bro, to be honest, you could do the Shakespearean story with Dr. Doom. Honestly, a Shakespeare story fits Dr. Doom because of where he comes from. Latveria is that type of city. You know what I mean? Where it's that style, and I think that RDJ, he's going to be a different guy, dude. And you guys, and I know, but I see it in my mind how different Dr. Doom is going to be. You know what I mean? It's going to be a whole different ball game. And if this is how deep they're going to go with Kim, I expect the same type of to kind of care with Dr. Doom even deeper.